Yesterday there was an article in the New York Post, which we linked to in the first article I wrote about this, the headline of which is "Shocking UN Document Divulges Climate Cult Brainwashing." Now it ties into this New York Post article because the New York Post writer, Andrea Pazer, wrote about how her daughter came home from school singing the words, "You can hear the warning, global warming." And basically her daughter told her that at school they'd been coerced into learning and singing this song about global warming. And the kids had also been taught that their own parents were to blame for killing the polar bears. Of course, we know polar bears' population are exploding at record levels. But they taught the kids that the parents were the enemy, that they were to blame, which is exactly what the Club of Rome called for in their 1991 document, The First Global Revolution. They talked about making humanity the enemy, and that's what would sell the idea of climate change and global warming as the new enemy to mankind. So, with these new documents, newly uncovered, as I said, that they were written 2 years ago, but they've just come to light, they talk about how they need a core element of the program is an extensive propagandizing role for the UNEP that reaches beyond its member governments. Again, this is about the global government reaching into schools, reaches beyond its member governments and traditional environmental institutions to children and youth. And it says civil society, including children and youth, and the private sector will be reached through tailor-made outreach products and campaigns. So they're talking about bypassing nation states and member governments and local schools and local school authorities and just making this part of the curriculum, this climate cult brainwashing, which is now manifesting itself.
And Paul, just interrupt briefly. I know you wrote a key article on this yesterday, and I asked you to do a new detailed one with more of the background on this today. You did it in a hurry. I'm going to really promote this article, so beef it up with Al Gore caught brainwashing elementary kids to question their parents and boss them around. That New York Times article where I want people to see this for themselves from the other side, directly from them. Kathleen Sebelius telling kids to go tell their parents they're wrong and everyone needs the flu shot. We need to post the New York Times where it describes little girls coming home and telling their mother they can't have a hot bath and writing reports on them to the school. The climate cop ads in the U.S. and in England where the kids are given red jackets just like City Year and told to report on their parents. We need to really show people that this is actually happening. The UN, with federal funding in every nation state, is brainwashing your children. They are going after them. You could pull up that Statesman article from 3 or 4 months ago where a former Special Forces, Black Ops, CIA commander is now running the environmental takeover and carbon tax in Austin. And then I found a pattern of other cities putting Pentagon people in. I mean, this is a savage, feudal system, military precision being run. And once they have your kids tattling on you for the environment, that's a way to break the ice. Now it's what's in mommy's medicine cabinet. Does mommy smoke cigarettes? Does mommy drink? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is 110% grade A, thoroughbred, un-American, total tyranny. And it's going on in Australia, England, Europe, Canada, the U.S. It's a global system. That's what we always point out. The same names of the programs, the same talking points, the same system. It's globally directed. Paul Watson, continue.
Yeah, and don't forget the electricity companies and the big oil companies are on board as well.
Yes, brainwashing the kids in free comic books, telling them to spy on their parents. And add the ABC News article where they teach the kids to commit suicide at 11 when their carbon credits run out at age 11. People won't believe that. They must see how they're teaching the children how to kill themselves. These people are, I mean, folks, you're supposed to freak out about this. This is insane. Wake up. Get angry. I'm sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
Yeah, the electricity gas company, N-Power, had a program called Climate Cops where the kids would inform and compile reports on their parents if they as he said, had a hot bath or used the heating for too long. So, and then there's a regulatory level which is going to come to us and be in our faces on a day-to-day basis. In England, they're introducing fines for if you leave your car on idle, say it's a cold day, it's been snowing, your window's iced up, you want to warm your car up. If you leave it on for more than 2 minutes without being in it, it's a fine. Environmental cops will fine you for that. And that's the level of tyranny that it's going to be coming to when they get all this through after Copenhagen and in the coming years, and it's already happening. So, that, I mean, the rest of these documents, the information in them, as I said, is bombshell. The only report that was done on it was Fox News that was any kind of incisive report talking about what's actually in it. And it's par for the course. They talk about how they need to raise finances from global warming hysteria, and that's how they will fund the mechanism of global government. So, again, it's coming out of cap and trade. It's their funding slush fund for the global government. They talk about efforts at local, national, global levels to raise, quote, sufficient finance to meet environmental challenges, including climate change. So they're saying they need to get more money out of it to grease the skids of the tyrannical, authoritarian global system that they're building. And I mean, that's evident with another report that we put out today where the UN has banned WorldNet Daily and Jerome Corsi, who is a 2-time New York bestseller #1, and he's also reported on previous events at the UN. But they've banned him from even attending and reporting on the Copenhagen summit because they claim that WorldNet Daily is linked to this Western capitalist media organization. I forgot the name of it, but it's similar.
So it's fine to be political. In fact, if you're not a supporter of the UN, you don't get to be part of the select media. They're admitting that if you have any links, even if they're made up, to anyone that disagrees with them, you can't come, and we have their letter.
Yeah, they're basically saying, you know, you only have free speech in the New World Order if you agree with what the globalists are doing.
Well, remember the European Parliament last week with the British member of the European Parliament, he brought up the fact that it was unelected and a fraud, and they said, we're turning your mic off, you're not allowed to criticize people. Now we're going to cut to the lady from Poland, and she goes, you're a monkey in a tree, we can see your rear end. And everyone laughs at him, and so, I mean, again, totally rigged. They're allowed to do whatever they want. This is the new Soviet Union.
Well, the EU passed a ruling that says it's illegal to criticize the EU. So when the UKIP member last week, Nigel Farage, was criticizing, he dared to criticize Van Rompuy and the other, you know, his right-hand woman who's never been elected to any position, political position in her life. He criticized them, and they basically reprimanded him and cut his mic because it's illegal to criticize the EU. And that's exactly what the UN is now mirroring by barring anyone who expresses skepticism towards global warming from the Copenhagen event next week.
Paul, there is no doubt this is classical tyranny. Great article you've written. I want everybody to make it go mega viral. I'm going to do a YouTube later today, part 2 on ClimateGate with this bombshell, and I'm asking listeners to just absolutely get out to everyone. And I want to just salute the great work you're doing, but beef it up, add more to the article so people get the full picture of what's happening, because they really are brainwashing your children right now. All the public schools are federalized. They're independent in name only. They're teaching your children songs about worshiping Obama and worshiping the UN and how carbon dioxide's evil. Nickelodeon has all these messages, TV, the mainline TV shows. Al Gore up there saying we've got to pass the Copenhagen tax. I mean, this is a full court press. They're attempting to take over right now. ClimateGate documents are a godsend. It has blown a huge hole in their entire facade, but we've got to go through that breach and continue to press the issue. Paul, what's your gut on this? I mean, do you think they're going to be able to get a lot of signatories to this and ram it through, or is this thing really starting to flounder?
Well, they were already saying they wouldn't get it through before ClimateGate, so it's highly unlikely that they're going to get it through now.